All right, hey gang. I'm gonna walk you through some of this section. At least the beginning part of it is usually one of the harder things that we look at in chapter 2. So I want you to pay real close attention to what I'm going to be doing. And as long as you adhere to the rules of algebra, nothing's changing. Okay, there's more variables, there's more letters to deal with, but nothing's changing. So just keep that in mind as we work through the next couple minutes. Okay, so let's actually take a look at this here. You have those examples up above that you can look at and help you out, but I picked two out from down below that I'd like to work out with you. And so here's what's happening. It says solve each equation or formula for the variable indicated. So we have this equation, 16w plus 4x is equal to y, number 10. And we're going to solve for x. We want to get this by itself, okay? Now, in order to do that, I think I'm going to keep this where it's at, and I'm going to take this to the other side. Now, normally, how would you take 16 to the other side? You would subtract it, right? Well, I'm going to do the same thing, even though it's got a w next to it. So I'm going to subtract 16w to the other side. Now, what you're going to notice here, on the left-hand side, those guys are gone. On the right-hand side, you can either write this negative 16w plus y, or, like I'm preferring to do it, y minus 16w. Okay? They're still separate. They're not like terms, so we don't combine them. Okay? Now from there, how do you get x by itself? Well, this is 4 times x. How do we undo multiplication? We divide. And so this right here is going to be our answer, y minus 16w divided by 4. Okay? So again, it's a little bit different because you got multiple variables, but the concepts don't change. We're going to subtract 16w from both sides. We're going to keep it separate because they're not like terms. And then we're going to divide through by 4. Okay? So I picked out these problems, 10 and 12, because I thought just by looking at it, these were some more of the difficult ones. So I wanted to try and help you out with the harder ones. So in looking at number 12, what I see here is that area, or I think it's an area formula. I'm not sure which one, to be honest with you, is equal to h parentheses a plus b over 2. Okay? How do we get the h by itself? Well, the first thing is this. We're dividing everything by 2. So what are we going to do to both sides? We're going to multiply everything by 2. So this gives me 2a. I multiplied that side by 2. These 2's cancel out, so you have h times a plus b. Okay? Now, we want to get h by itself, and h is being multiplied by all of this. So how do I get h by itself? I'm going to divide by all of this. So 2a divided by a plus b. And if you want, you can leave it in the parentheses. It really doesn't matter here. Maybe that would be helpful. Okay. Divided by h. Okay. Again, that's the answer for 12 there. Okay. All right, now let's flip over to the back side, and I'm going to go right down to the very last problem here. Okay, it says this: the surface area of a rectangular solid is given by the formula S is equal to 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. And it says here that we want to solve for the height. Obviously, L is length, W is width, and H is height. So if I want to get the height by itself, notice that this problem right here, and this, I should say, this term has an H, and this term has an H. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy to the other side. So I'm going to subtract him from both sides. Okay? Now these are unlike terms, so I'm going to take this right here equals 2LH plus 2WH. Okay? Now, something that we haven't talked about this year, and I don't expect you to know this right now, but I want to walk you through it, is this. Do you notice that each of these terms has a 2 and an H? Okay? And so what I'm going to do, well, let's just ignore the 2. I want to get the h's away from these two terms. So if I'm going to pull those two h's away from those two terms, I can rewrite this. It's called factoring out the h. So if I go ahead and divide each of these terms by h, pull him out, put him out here, h times 2l plus 2w gives you the same expression. If I was to redistribute this back into the parentheses, I would get this same expression right here. Okay? So I've just what we call factored him out. I pulled him out, put him right there. Now the other side just remains the same for now. Okay? Now, how do I get h by itself? Well, this is h times all of this. So if I divide through by 2l plus 2w, again, you can keep that in parentheses if you want to, just like the last problem. Here's what we end up having, okay? H equals s minus 2lw divided by 2l plus 2w, okay? So I hope you followed that. I subtracted this guy from that side over. I then factored him out. That's the one step I think would cause you difficulty if you hadn't seen that before. I factored out h, and then I went in and divided through by 2l 2w plus 2w, okay? Now the follow-up question is this. The surface area of a rectangular solid with length 6 centimeters and width 3 centimeters is 72 square centimeters. Find the height. So if I go ahead and plug this in, 72 is the surface area, minus twice the length we were told is 6, and the width is 3. Okay, we can go ahead and work that out in our calculator. Now, I should find a calculator so I can show you this. So let me pause for a quick second. All right, and we're back. Here's what I want you to see. If I'm going to plug this into my calculator, I'm going to do it this way. I want to group my entire numerator together, so I make sure that we're dividing all of this by all of this. So I'm going to take 72 minus 2 times 6 times 3, and then I'm going to divide by 2 times 6 plus 2 times 3. And the height is going to be 2 centimeters. Okay? So hopefully that made sense, how we plugged that in, how we were able to go ahead and solve for h. I want you to go ahead and finish up the rest of this sheet right here, but I'd prefer you not working on the assignment down here. I am going to eventually assign that. Sorry, I'm like getting off here. Sorry. I'm eventually going to assign that, but not at this time, because I want to double check to make sure that we've done the flip side correctly. Okay? So just keep that in mind and go ahead and do the rest of the problems there. So have a great night. See ya.